On this episode, we talk about our recent trip, which included a stay at All-Star Sports, dinners at Terralina Crafted Italian and Summer House, as well as some Disney treats and a few food and wine updates. Today's September 10th, 2024. This is episode 701 of the Main Street Magic Podcast.
Jeremy and Rhonda are more than a little fond of Disney World, so they made this podcast to share it all with you. Reports and resorts, top 10 lists of all sorts. Main Street Magic's bringing it home for you.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Main Street Magic. I am your host, Jeremy Stein, and as always, I'm joined by my lovely wife, Rhonda.
Hey guys! Make sure you check us out on the web at mainstmagic.com, as well as follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at mainstmagic, and on TikTok at MSM Podcast.
If you want to be part of the community and join the conversation, in addition to live streams from the parks and our weekly live show, head to Facebook and search for the Main Street Magic community and ask to join.
And don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you can get brand new episodes every Tuesday and Friday.
Planning a trip to Disneyland or Walt Disney World can be overwhelming and at times just downright frustrating. But don't worry, because Mouse Dining removes the frustration of booking Disney dining reservations, alerting you when they spot availability for your desired restaurant, date, meal, and time. Visit msmfriends.com to use this free service. Whether you're ready for your next Disney destination vacation or your first, our trusted partner, MEI-Travel, will handle the planning so you can focus on the memories. They offer free vacation planning services and have nearly 20 years of experience creating memorable Disney vacations. Visit mainstmagic.com/travel for a fee-free, no-obligation quote today.
So happy birthday week, Jeremy.
Yay, it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
I totally forgot my birthday was coming up, to be honest.
Oh, bullcrap.
I don't even remember that.
Oh,
It's just another day.
whatever.
Just another year, right?
Jeremy,
I never care about my
Jeremy
birthday.
cares so much about his birthday.
I care a lot about my birthday. I think everybody should. Like, I think it's okay to have a day to celebrate you.
Okay.
That
I don't.
I do. I know.
I mean,
you don't, but
I'm
but
happy
you
to
need to
turn another year older because I'm living and I'm.
yeah.
But I just.
And turning another year older is
care.
always good. It's those years that you don't that are trouble. They're
That's
not usually your best of years. But I also think it's okay to allow other people who want to celebrate you. Like, I like celebrating you on your birthday, and you're like, meh, I don't care.
Uh-huh.
I'm like, okay, but care that I care.
I'm trying.
And then for my birthday, I care very much, but you usually don't as much.
I try.
So no, you do. You hook it up. You got an early birthday present,
Mm-hmm.
right? We got new tattoos.
Mm-hmm.
So I finally got my Pudge tattoo and his
Mhm.
peanut butter sandwich because he controls the weather.
Mm.
And what did you add?
Well, I finished my villain sleeve basically, and we did Hat Box Ghost.
Yeah, he's super cool.
Yeah, he is.
And then we got cute little finger tattoos for each other, like Ray and Evangeline, the little
Mhm.
stars, right?
No, we did.
So you're stuck with me, really.
Okay.
Or it would be odd because if we weren't together and somebody said, "Well, what's that for?" You would just be like, "I don't know, man. It's just a star," right?
Uh-huh.
So now though, you're gonna look silly if
Uh-huh.
it's just you with it on your finger.
Yep.
So you're in for the long haul,
Okay.
babe. But no, we have a very busy week coming up,
We do.
including Halloween Horror Nights,
Woo!
which the girls are so super excited
Yes,
about.
they
I am
are.
too. I'm very excited for Halloween Horror Nights.
I'm
And-
excited to just hang out with our friends and stuff.
Yeah.
But
and we got Express Pass this year.
yeah,
You
I'm
and
not
I did.
excited for the houses.
You're not excited
No,
for the houses?
I don't like being scared, man.
But you love the houses. The only one I'm not.
I'm excited for
completely
the Quiet
excited
House.
for A Quiet Place.
Yeah.
I've heard it's super weird because it is quiet.
Yes.
And the one I'm scared most of that I might want to knock out earliest, if it makes sense, is Insidious.
Yeah.
Everything else I think I'm kind of excited to. And honestly, it's one, like, if you told me to name all of the houses right now, I couldn't. So I'm kind of excited for some of the surprise. Like, I try and keep myself from seeing too much just for some of that surprise. But it's going to be a good group of us. And there's going to be a bunch of teenage kids
Yeah.
with us. We've all got Express Pass this year. Every
Uh-huh.
last one of us, including, you and I. So I'm excited to go through the houses in groups
Yes.
if the kids will stay with us,
Yes.
which I don't know if they will.
I don't either.
So yeah, we got that. We got my birthday coming up. It looks like I'm taking Lacey to a concert in Orlando on Wednesday. I'm very, very excited to take her to see 21 Pilots at the Kia Center. So I still have to order some binoculars on Amazon because we are in the upper bowl. It was all I could secure at the time the tickets went on sale, and they're very far away.
Okay.
When we saw Maroon 5 here, which I believe was the new Amway, I think, or was it the old Amway? All I know is that our seats were so high that I got dizzy walking up the stairs. And if you ever wanted to see what Adam Levine would look like if he was an ant, that is where we were located, and that's about where we'll be Wednesday. So, and those are hard because, and then we'll get on to stuff about Disney, but those are really hard because, like, when I went to the Final Four and I got to see Duke in Wisconsin, I was just thankful to be in the building, but that was in Indy in their football stadium. And I was way back. I mean, somebody got the tickets for me who I was working for at the time, and it was amazing. But when you're that far away, you can't help but just watch the giant Jumbotron.
Oh, 100%.
So then you're like, well, I could have done this from my house. You know what I mean? But there is just something about that energy. So I'm just glad to be in the building. And 21 Pilots puts on one of the best shows I've ever seen.
Yeah, they're fun.
I'm very excited for that. But let's get into what today is all about, really. And before we do, we're going to give some updates on Food and Wine. Because we got to go back. You know, if you go back to episode 699, just 2 episodes ago, you can hear all about Food and Wine, but you will hear that some of our plans got rained out. So we were able to go back just this past weekend, basically, and we were, able to try a whole lot of other items that we'd kind of missed the first time. So, but we would be remiss before we get into that if we didn't mention a couple shout outs.
Yeah, and we
from last
forgot
weekend,
to,
from the first weekend, I should say.
So it was so nice meeting Aslan and her dad. I didn't catch his name because Aslan was saying hers, and I was like, that is a really pretty name.
It's very pretty. I love that name.
But thank you for coming up to us and saying hey.
Yeah.
And then in the Odyssey, we saw Victoria, and she just moved here from New York. So that was super cool. And she's very pretty. I was like, I saw her and I was like, oh my gosh.
She was super cool too. We chatted with her for a little bit, and then I started following her on Instagram. It's apples2, like the number orange. And, she's new to the area. And so, like, especially from that same weekend, she was just doing a ton of Disney, and she's got really great content on there. If you go and check out her stories, she was getting updates on everything they ate, the Food and Wine. And it's just, again, you should always follow like multiple folks in any sort of, content environment that you're looking at, because there's always these multiple opinions and all. And so, check her out. She's super cool. A really good follow. Hello to you guys. Yeah. And thank you to everybody else that shouted out to us or said hello and passing.
Oh, yeah.
We had a lot of folks that, we're in line. That would just say, hey, good work on the podcast, or, we listen. And so thank you all. We didn't catch everybody's name or get a chance to maybe chat for a few minutes, but appreciate you guys. And thanks so much. That's how we do things like our 700th episode we just had, is because people listen. So, but let's talk a little bit about some of the additional Food and Wine items that we got a chance to try.
Yeah. So we drove down yesterday straight to EPCOT, and it was busy.
It was super
really
busy. It was like food and wine crowds were there. Yeah. Well, we had a very slow Labor Day weekend down in Disney. It was not very crazy. Opening of Food and Wine wasn't nuts. So we had to wait significantly long for most of the lines.
Yeah, but it was fine.
Yeah, which a lot of times we just pass by because we go, we'll get it next time. But these were all dishes we wanted to do Labor Day weekend that we got rained out of. So we're like, we don't care how long the wait is. This is why we came to EPCOT before we go out to this concert tonight. Let's get them done. Yep. So we'll go in the order that we had them. Yep. We started in China. This was not actually new this year. I had some notes wrong in my phone, but I'm so glad we got it still. I thought I remembered it from previous years.
I did too, but I just didn't want to.
I thought maybe they had changed something, but it's the crispy duck bao bun with hoisin sauce. This is $8.25. This is a snack plan eligible. As we did that review episode, we'll just tell you if it's not, but just assume everything we talk about is Disney dining plan eligible. I don't think this is a good Disney dining plan credit spend, even though it's $8.25, which is a little more expensive and you would think would be a good one. I just don't think the value's there because it is just one small bun. Yeah. Now it's delicious.
Yes, it is.
Everything about it is perfect. Yep. But it's a very small portion for them to be charging $8.25 and for you to use a snack credit kind of, don't you think?
Yeah, I think I do agree.
But you like this dish, don't you?
Oh, yes,
And
it
this
was
one's
very
a
good.
really good
But
one.
I actually like the next dish better.
All right, what is the next dish? This is new this year.
We did get the Shanghai scallion noodles with shrimp for $8.50. Now you only get 2 shrimp in this little noodle bowl, but they are bigger. They are lightly tempura fried. And these, to me, noodles remind me of Ohana noodles. Mm-hmm. This dish, to me, is fantastic. Now, the noodles are very plain. And I'm thinking when I'm talking about this dish, it's funny because we're coming up to another one that we actually really retried. But besides that, the point to this dish, I loved it, but it is on the more plainer side.
Yeah, it is. I mean, they're just they taste like lo mein noodles.
So good.
They really do, but they're just lo mein noodles done very well. Mm-hmm. This would be a good snack credit for $8.50. This is a good portion.
It is. We shared
this is like,
it, and there was
you get this and the dumplings that they have also, and you've got yourself like good. A light lunch.
Yes.
And the shrimp were just perfect. Absolutely perfect.
What was your favorite thing from here?
The duck bao bun always is, but it's one that I want to get like going back and just have myself, when you go back to have your favorites, like I just want it all to myself because it is so good. It's just a nice thick piece of duck that's perfectly cooked, a little bit of that hoisin, and then the bao bun is perfectly steamed. But I really love it. We also got the mango peach bubble tea. This is new this year for $7.75. This is a green tea, mango, and peach syrups and white boba. This is non-alcoholic. What did you think of this beverage?
This was a nice large beverage, which was great. I absolutely loved it. The white boba is the chewy bobas instead of popping. That's my favorite. So this was fantastic. Mm-hmm. I loved it, and I would get this again.
I would too. And this is the best festival booth non-alcoholic beverage I think we've had here so far this year.
I feel like I agree with that.
Because a lot of them, they're good, but they go with those overly sweet, syrupy drinks. Yeah. And this is not. This is light. You get a lot of that green tea flavor with those hints of mango. Like Rhonda said, the boba balls are great because they're those chewy kind instead of the weird popping that we don't like as much. And $7.75, it's probably a 16-ounce cup. It's full. I really, really enjoyed this. It's one of the few festival beverages I would get again.
Yes.
Because it's just nice and light and refreshing, and I can just see getting this any time on a hot day.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's move over to Spain. We made it back after this is the booth we were rained out in.
Yes, and it did not rain, which was super awesome.
Yeah,
this
we got
weekend.
everything done that we wanted to. So Spain has a Spanish charcuterie that is new this year for $6.50. It has jamón manchego and then the pan con tomate, the bread with the tomatoes on top, basically like a tomato spread, which we love pretty much anywhere we get. They've got really good version over at Toledo. Mm-hmm. They've got them at Three Bridges. We have had this at Jaleo. Mm-hmm. It's outstanding, and it's just as good here on this plate.
Yes, and so I'm glad we got it this weekend because we did not when it opened.
Right.
And back to dishes changing constantly through the festival. Apparently last week it had more going on the plate, and it was just a crazy mess because the guy behind us was talking about it.
Yeah, he was talking about the previous years in the cone. Remember, they used to do the charcuterie cone. And he very loudly, vocally let everyone he know that he liked this one because it was much simpler.
But I swear I thought he said
no, because I heard him talking to his son because everybody could hear him talking to anyone next to him about the cone from the previous years, and that he liked this one because it was more simple. The cone was too much going on. It was all
great.
In the same cone.
There's 3.
This was perfect.
It was perfect.
Yeah.
It was 3 little things. And it was super cute because the manchego was like almost like a little flower rose or so. Like how they do that, like...
The jamón. Yeah, it was. Yes.
Whatever.
Yeah. Manchego's the cheese.
Oh, yeah.
The jamón is like the ham.
Wow. Prosciutto. Whatever.
Prosciutto,
I don't know what this
basically,
stuff is.
yeah. It all went together perfect.
It did.
It was and when you get this, it just goes back to I don't understand why Italy can't just do something even like this
I could taste the salt, see
Yeah.
the salt and pepper on the tomato.
I know.
Like,
And
it was
they
good.
could do the
It was
exact
really
same thing,
good.
but a bruschetta.
Yep.
They could have a really good like salami or something, and house-made like mozzarella or something. Like they could do an Italian charcuterie so easily, and it would beat anything they're doing there. And I think this was just perfect for Spain.
Mhm.
And it's a great little snack. They have some wines available there
Yeah.
that I think would pair very well
Yes.
with the wine, either red or white. And
Well, there
just
was
to sip
red
this,
and
it
there
would
was
be so good.
sangria.
A sangria.
Mhm.
It was perfect. It's like, it's one of those dishes. You go, what is it? And somebody gives you it, the description, and then you get it. And it's exactly what it's described and how you would think it would be. So well done, Spain, with this one. We went back to Forest and Field because we did want to get one of the other new items, but we also revisited the pumpkin mascarpone ravioli with
Yes.
sage brown butter. This was $5.25, comes with 3 little pumpkin raviolis.
Still 3.
Yeah, our previous review on opening weekend was we enjoyed it, but we didn't get that brown butter and sage kind of sauce that was promised.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're like, let's go back and see if it's any different. And it was pretty much the exact same.
Pretty much. There was you said a sage leaf that was
Yeah,
different.
this time there was a sage leaf, and it had a little bit more of the hazelnut praline
It seemed
on top.
like that, yeah.
That crunch made a difference because I liked it better this time.
I did too.
But I still want that brown butter. I want it
know.
soaking in that brown butter. Because you barely get the brown butter flavor even, or the
But
sage.
do we?
You
Because
just get
the
the
only
pumpkin.
thing is like, will it overpower it?
Maybe it does, and maybe that's why they're doing it this way.
Well,
It's just one of those that comes off dry. So again, if you were pairing this with like a white wine,
right.
it would be very good, but it just comes off as a very dry dish that has like 85% of the flavors you want.
Yeah.
But there's just something missing that takes this up to like one of the best dishes. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
I
What
agree.
else did we get from there that was new?
So we got the burrata with seasonal fall fruit, spiced pecans, apple puree, and a fig vinaigrette for $5.50. I really liked this. I thought it was very refreshing. The apple puree was applesauce, but still, I really liked all the flavors together personally. It
Yeah,
was more
we had what?
soft.
Pears, apple, and
Mhm.
fig were the actual
Mhm.
seasonal fruits on there.
It was all soft except like the pear and the apples were a little crispy. And then of course your spiced pecans. I just thought the whole thing. And there was, I think, pomegranate seeds.
Yeah,
too,
there was.
thins.
There's pomegranate seeds in
So
there.
good. I really
beautiful.
liked it.
It was like all the flavors of kind of summer going into fall, like
Mhm.
that to bridge over.
Yeah.
I personally just didn't like the contrast and texture of the applesauce.
I just started to say, I think you were, yeah.
It was the applesauce. If it had bit on its own, it was just good applesauce. To me, it didn't particularly taste homemade.
Right.
It kind of tastes like just mozz out of a jar. It just seemed like an afterthought, and I didn't think it went well with everything else. But everything else was great. The burrata was so good. The pears were perfect. The crisp apple with the burrata was great. So otherwise, I thought it was outstanding. I didn't love the texture of the applesauce compared to everything else, but
That's
it wasn't
understandable.
bad.
Yeah.
That's all. It just seemed like, why'd you put that on there? I don't know. Just needed one more component. Here we go. Okay. Let's move on to Brew Wing in the Odyssey. We did get the frozen pomegranate and raspberry tea. We've had this in the past. It is Twinings pomegranate and raspberry herbal tea infused with orange ice cream molecules. Those are basically dipping dots that are on top. And then it's a frozen slushy.
Yep.
And it comes in this little keepsake can-sized shaped plastic cup that you can wash out, take with you. This is $5, which I think is a great price for it.
Oh, 100%.
It is so good. I
It's
mean,
so
this
good.
is one I would get again as well.
Yes, I
along
would.
with that bubble tea from China.
Yes.
The reason we got it is we thought we would possibly need to have something cool to go along with this year's new item, which is the unnecessarily spicy yet extremely tasty Carolina Reaper pepper curry wings with creamy cucumber raita. This is $7.75. Comes with, I think, 5 wings.
That's what I was trying to
we
remember.
were super excited because
These are big wings.
last
too.
year
A lot of meat.
the wings were just small and kind of overcooked, and all the sauces were good that they were doing, but the wings just weren't the best. This year, the wings have looked outstanding from what we've seen, and the ones we got from the wing portion look great. Now, let's break down the sauce and the unnecessarily spicy. Okay, let's talk about that part, and let's talk about the yet extremely tasty part.
Okay.
We have not eaten everything on Disney property. Obviously, we've not eaten every item.
Right.
We've not even eaten every item that one would consider spicy. However,
Correct.
we have eaten items that spice was potentially promised, and there's been varying levels, but there's never usually anything that's kind of, crazy or too much. And I
Correct.
tend to like spice.
Yes, you do. And you have a high spice tolerance.
Yeah, I think I have a pretty high spice
in my
tolerance
opinion.
for someone who grew up in the middle of the countryside in Damascus, Maryland, and didn't even have buffalo wings until I was like 20 years old.
Yes.
I feel like I've actually acquired a good level and taste and all for spice.
I agree.
With all that being said, this is not only the hottest thing on Disney property, and I can pretty much guarantee that, as in spice, it's one of the spiciest things I have personally ever eaten, including when we would go to not Buffalo Wild Wings. It was,
I think it
was
was
the
that,
other
and then it
one.
was BW3's.
That is
No.
Buffalo Wild Wings.
Right.
But there's another one that used to be nearest, this wing place, and they had one
Okay.
called the Braveheart. It was the only wing you could buy one of. And it was just, everybody sometimes would get one. We'd all get one, and everybody would try it and see who could stand it. And it was hot as all get out. I think this wing was hotter and spicier than that. At no point during the 2 bites that I tried to consume was it extremely tasty. Was it enjoyable in any way, shape, or form? The spice was immediate and consumed every part of you that it touched.
Holy crap, it did.
It was awful.
The curry
Awful.
was like, you could smell it, and it was neat, and it was exciting, but it was awful.
This had, and this is what they do with
My
these like
lips
Braveheart
burned for,
wings.
like,
30 minutes
20,
after.
yeah. I started 20 or 30 minutes
you
after.
could see just ground up Carolina Reaper peppers in it. Like they weren't even trying to hide them, and that it was so absurdly hot. And I like eating something spicy that makes me sweat. I like it. But there's such a difference between something that is spicy and also tasty.
Hurts.
Yeah, and this just flat out hurt your mouth and your lips.
Yes, it did.
I mean, no
Don't
amount
touch your
of this
eyes.
frozen pomegranate.
Oh,
and
thank
raspberry
God
tea,
we had that, though. But
but no amount made it go away. It just
No,
gave
that's
you
true.
very temporary relief. It was awful. If anybody goes and can eat all of these, like, let us know and prove it. We'll send you a Be Nice to Cast Member shirt. Like, I just can't.
And for $7.75,
Imagine.
I was very sad. We had to throw it all away.
We threw everything away. I had 2 bites because the second bite,
one.
I did want to get the cucumber raid with it, which did nothing.
No, it did not.
And you only had 1 bite. 3
I had
bites
one
out of all
bite
of these. And we
with
threw the
the
rest away.
cucumber rieta,
Yeah.
and it was not. I mean, yeah,
It just isn't
my
enjoyable.
lips hurt.
Yeah, I want to be able to feel spice and feel burn while also enjoying what I'm eating. And that's the thing is, once you got through a bite of this, it just killed all taste in your mouth for that moment that I think you wouldn't even tasted anything beyond it.
Yeah.
So challenges out there. So we did want to go ahead and find a dish that at least would be a little bit cooling. And so we went over to Hawaii.
Yeah.
Now they do have the pork sliders there that are there year after year, and
We've
they're
had those.
outstanding.
Very
They're
good.
best of the fest, easy. You can get those guaranteed. You're going to love them. New this year is a Hawaiian rice bowl. This has Spam, eggs, eel sauce, spicy mayo, and the farikake, I think is how it's pronounced. It's seaweed,
Okay.
right? This is new again, and it's $6.25.
Oh, that's all.
Yeah.
That was a good
It
price.
was a
then.
good portion.
Yep.
They were way backed up getting
Yep.
this ready, so I think there were 7 they were waiting on.
Yep.
While we were standing there and we got ours, but it is a hot dish.
Yes.
It is a rice bowl.
Yep.
What'd you think of it?
So I was
Not a lot of people have had Spam.
No, and I was very nervous, I guess, about it, to be honest, because it was Spam. But it was kind of really neat because it reminded me of a tuna poke bowl because the Spam was very soft. And once, like, I almost put my brain to that's tuna, I thought it was really good. I really liked everything. Like, all the flavors worked together. I
mean,
really liked
it tastes like a light ham.
Well, I don't
Cubed
think it
ham,
does.
but processed cubed
okay.
ham. I mean, really, if you went to the grocery store and to the deli and you just got a chunk of ham not sliced, like they haven't sliced it for you.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you went and then cut it in cubes. That's very similar to what it is. But
I don't think it is, but okay.
Okay. It is like that's what Spam pretty much is, though.
Are you sure?
Yeah, it's like a canned ham.
Why is it so soft?
Well, it is overly processed, and it's still probably got lots of parts in it. It's like a hot dog. It's like a canned hot dog.
Okay.
Really. I mean, if you think about it, it is like a canned ham hot dog. But canned ham hot dog
Kind of want to look it
was
up.
not a good selling point, so they came up with the name Spam.
Okay.
I think it's delicious. That spicy mayo and eel sauce.
Yeah, it was really good.
And
though.
the rice, it's sushi rice. It is classic flavors of sushi.
Yeah.
And then, if you get past the fact that it's this canned meat, that everybody has this like, ooh, Spam, that's disgusting. It's actually really good. It's flavorful, and it does have that hammy flavor, but it tastes like the islands.
Yes.
I loved it. I thought it was so good. Like, I would definitely get this again. And this, just like you get this and those sliders, and like you've got lunch. You really do.
Mm-hmm.
For like, $10-15 or something. And you could still probably split it with someone.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a huge sit down meal, but it is something that can certainly tide you over when just say that night you're doing, a buffet dinner or something. You want something light, this will do it for you. Same with those noodles from China.
Yes. True.
And finally, we were done paying for anything.
Yes.
We did not want to pay for another item. So we were lucky because our last item was free, wasn't it?
Yes, it was the redemption from the Emil's Fromage Montage, which you have quite a few different things that you can choose from.
15 or so dishes this year, and you got 5 of them in any order.
And I'm going to tell you right now, don't forget your stamps.
Yeah.
And this is one redemption thing that you will want to get.
Yes, do not miss out on this.
No, you go to Shimmering Sips and they will hand you a blueberry lemon cheesecake sauce served, topped with a mini cheesecake and graham cracker crumbs in a specialty cup. I would like to buy this. I wish I could go to Shimmering Sips and go, can I have that, please? And I'll pay for it.
We will get this again and again because we'll make sure that we do dishes that are in the fromage montage again. And a couple of them are dishes that we do love. If you go over and we love the Swiss cheese raclette over there. We loved the pimento cheese and the pork rinds. Like there's 2 right there. Like, you could get really good dishes for this. It's the best soft serve I've had at Disney.
Oh, this was so good.
I'm not usually big on like blueberries. I think they're okay, but I don't love this combination was so good. It was a good portion in that wine glass.
Yep.
That plastic wine glass that you get to keep. I loved every bit about it.
Yep.
It stopped us from then going next to it at Swirl Showcase because we thought we were going to maybe try and get something from there. We're like, well, let's see how much this is.
The line was really long.
Yeah. Well, it was over there, yeah.
We were needing to go and get checked into our hotel and everything. And we literally just had soft serve. And because it was so good, we also were going to Disney Springs. So we were like, we're going to get Salt and Straw later.
Yeah, we were.
So with all that being said, that's why I just wanted to end on this amazing.
Oh my gosh. It was
amazing
so good.
Dessert.
And we ate every last bit.
Yes.
What we could get out of that thing.
Yes.
Speaking of Salt and Straw, we did get Salt and Straw that night before the concert.
Yes.
And they've got the seasonal fall flavors. You got apple pie versus pumpkin pie.
Yes.
I had the apple cider donut.
With what kind of cone, though?
Pumpkin spice waffle cone.
Yes,
limited right
did.
now.
Yes.
I think both of ours, as always, were just
fantastic.
knock it out of the park.
Yep.
It's my favorite ice cream anywhere.
Yeah.
Even we have places locally that we go and, we tried the stuff at the boardwalk. It's the best.
The stuff at the boardwalk was good.
It was good, but
hysterical,
it was improperly managed. This one was not. I did not have any dripping issues with this. It's Salt and Straw, but it was so good.
Yeah.
That and the cheesy dream puffs from Summer House we had as a little appetizer.
Yes.
Before the show, and that was also delicious. It's what the Brazilian cheese bread should be. If you don't understand what that means, I'm gonna let you just be intrigued. Go to Summer House. You can just walk right up to a bar, sit down, get yourself a beverage or something, and order the cheesy Dream Puffs.
Mhm.
They are absolutely game changing.
Yeah.
I loved them.
They were good.
All right, so now we can go back since it was a little bit out of order, but we wanted to get that food and wine stuff in there because we said we would, and the updates from the last one. So let's go back to Labor Day weekend when we originally went down for food and wine on that Thursday. Of course, again, episode 699. You can hear all about that. And then it was such a great day, and we ended up at EPCOT for so much longer.
We did.
Because we're hanging out with Scott and Michelle and Greg and John, and ran into the other John, Panda and, all these wonderful folks that we were hanging out with, and we ended up just spending a lot more time with them. So we didn't even, I'd done online check-in.
Yes, you did.
So tip, I know we've kind of mentioned in the past, when you check in, if you have a card on file, whether you check in person, they will ask you. Or if you do online check-in, there will be $100 hold on your card for incidentals, right? And when you are using a debit card, the way we were, because we paid off all our credit card debt years ago, and we did not have a credit card for many years.
Yep.
But decided to go ahead and get a Disney Visa again, because it was just like, and this would be a whole other podcast, but financially, we were not the most responsible with previous credit cards. Okay. We'll say that, when we used to go back to the days of saying Jeremy would get Disney drunk, and on the last day we'd go, hey, what if we stayed another night? Unfortunately, a lot of times it was just went on a credit card with no real plan. So don't do that. It's not very smart. You can go listen to Dave Ramsey. He'll tell you. Bad idea. So we held off for a while. We got it paid off. We worked on some things financially and all, and from a responsibility standpoint. And so we got a Disney Visa because one of the things that's really great, first of all, now we are at least earning something.
Right.
And we're making it a habit to make sure that we pay it off. We got wonderful advice from a friend who said, treat your credit card as a debit card.
Right.
You do not swipe that credit card unless you have the money in your checking account to then pay it pretty much immediately.
And honestly, when I would use my debit card, that $100 hold, man, really kind of sucks.
It does, and when you have a lot of money already wrapped up in a trip and you don't plan to maybe use,
and it's $100 a day.
Yeah.
I believe,
it's $100, but then as you dip into that $100, they can charge another on another day.
Yeah, it's just annoying.
It's a mess, and you don't want to keep
easier
track
to do
of it.
a credit card.
Yeah, if you use a credit card and you check in online, then they're going to do that $100 hold with that credit card. Same thing if you check in person, use a credit card, $100 hold. It's not going to bother you at all. 2 days after we got back from the trip, that hold was gone from the credit card. It never, took up money from our debit account. Plus, credit cards are so much better just to use for fraud and all.
Correct.
Anyway, you'll get your money back.
Yep.
So that was our credit card tutorial. We're not responsible for any ill financial decisions that you make when using a credit card, but that's what we're doing. So we checked in online. Our room was ready in the afternoon, but we didn't get there till 6-ish, right? Which is the latest we've ever gotten to a resort, I feel like.
Yeah, it was pretty late.
So we were at All Star Sports. In the past year, we've probably stayed at one of the All Stars more than anything else, but we've been really rotating through movies and music.
Yep.
We hadn't been to sports in a long time. If you go back and listen to all these All-Star episodes, they all are very much the same. Of course, they're all in that Animal Kingdom resort area. They're very close to Animal Kingdom. They're pretty much right around the corner from the entrance. So that part is really nice as far as location. And this one specifically, sports, opened way back in 94. So what is that? April of 94. So what's that been? 30 years? No, 20 years. 30 years. Holy smokes. That's insane.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Wow. You got several areas that all go around sports. You've got like a basketball area. You have a tennis. You've got baseball, surfing, like beach area, which is really cool.
That's super cool.
And then you've got football.
Yep.
What's great about this, and a lot of the reason that not only are they the most affordable, being values, but you have a lot of the sports teams and groups that come here because of the affordability. But there's also a lot of great outdoor common space for kids to let loose some steam, right?
It's super cool.
Yeah.
And I love that all the rooms have been updated. So you have the Murphy bed and then your queen bed. And, it's just fantastic now for us that they've done that. There is actually at sports 1,920 rooms.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of rooms.
It's a lot. It's there's a lot of rooms here, but these really are. I love the All-Stars.
Yeah.
There is, each morning I get up early. I just wake up, and to not bother Rhonda, I'll sneak out of the room, and I'll usually go and just sit outside and people watch or get some work done. To me, there's no other vibe like the one you get at the All-Stars. Like I can't explain what it is.
Yeah.
There's and a lot of that probably for us is nostalgia. We've stayed at there more often than not.
Yeah.
Right? Because of how affordable it is and because we're lucky enough to go very often.
Mm-hmm.
But there is just this feel, and maybe it has something to do with the accessibility. Like, it's all walks of life. It's all types of people.
Mm-hmm.
It's just amazing. And I love it. And certainly things like the Poly have a vibe and a feel, and it's, it's something so special. But man, I just get this like feel of joy just walking around the All-Stars.
Well, that's good.
And they have the least amenities out of any of them, but to me, they just have the best feel.
Yeah.
They
are fun. The only one downfall I will say is with the entrance, there's only 2 lanes. This is always where I'm like, all right, Disney, if you're listening.
Yeah. To access 3 resorts, technically.
Exactly.
Yeah, getting in there can be a
and pain. I just wish, because it looks like there's room on that far side where they could just put maybe like a bus lane.
Yeah.
Because the buses and the cars, and then for some reason, like I don't know why, but it just backs up so bad.
Yeah.
They've been really good other than that with the buses with, sometimes you might go to music or whatever and they might be fuller, but then sometimes you're not. So
yeah, sometimes they do share.
Sometimes.
It tends to be when it's not during the busiest time.
Yeah.
So like a mid-afternoon when a lot of people aren't utilizing the buses, sometimes they will share amongst all 3 resorts, which can be a pain and they can get full,
yes.
But we didn't experience any issues. And technically they are close enough. For example, you got sports first, then you got music, then you got movies.
Yes.
We have stayed at movies.
Yes.
And we've taken a music bus because,
yes, we have.
It's not that far of a walk. You could stay at music and take either a sports or a movies bus. So just keep that in mind. We walked up at one point to head back to the resort and the music bus was there and we could tell a sports bus had just left because there was almost no one in line. So we walked over into the music bus.
We did.
Now, again, you have to be okay with walking a little bit.
Yes.
So if you have somebody who has accessibility issues, you might just want to wait until your proper bus actually gets there. But so we went ahead and had our online check-in. We got our stuff. We walked into the room, and possibly for the first time ever, I think that I can remember, we did have a slight issue with the room.
Well, we had the one at Old Key West.
Oh, yes, that we did have that years ago during my birthday, where the room smelled like mold and the AC was broke.
Something like that.
Yeah. So what happened this time?
Well, I felt like it was similar as far as, and we walked in and I'm like, it smells musty. And the weirdest part is once the door shut and I took another breath in, I was like, nope, that's cigarette smoke. And I was like, oh my gosh. And as soon as I said that out loud, Jeremy was like, oh wow, you're right.
Yeah.
So,
and when I first walked in, I didn't necessarily get hit by a smell that was unfamiliar or unwanted. I got hit by the fact that I was lacking the smell of cleanliness and bleach that you normally have. That was the first thing I noticed, which is why automatically I think my brain was like, it's musty or something.
Yeah.
As soon as you said it smells like smoke, like cigarette smoke, I was like, oh, it totally does.
Yeah.
I can get it now. Yeah.
So we looked at each other and
we had 3 nights here.
Yes, we did.
And it's not like we were just stopping in. We were going to, just lay our head down to sleep, get up and leave the next morning. Like we had 3 nights here.
Right. And I mean, first of all, I would have had a headache or probably felt sick or something. But for the main reason is I didn't want it to be charged. I didn't want to be taken where they're like, "Oh, you did this." So we went immediately.
We're gonna hold on to that $100 hold because you
Yeah.
all smoked in your room. You know, be like, we don't even smoke.
Right. So we immediately went up front and we talked with Callie and Rachel at the front desk, and they were amazing. And we learned a long time ago that they don't like, how do you say it? They don't really talk to each other. Like it's.
Yeah, the front of the house and
I'm
housekeeping.
like, explain this.
Yeah, the front of the house and housekeeping don't have the best communication at a lot of the resorts, unfortunately. So there could have been, from my understanding, from talking to cast members in the past, there could be a situation where housekeeping goes in to clean a room, or maybe there is an issue, and there are certain avenues that they go through that might not ever make it to the front of the house. You know what I mean? And we're already checked in. So like, I think things can get lost in the shuffle. So of course they're very apologetic. They were wonderful, you know, Callie and Rachel. And, you know, they had like one person that they could call to kind of, you know, get us to another room. Cause obviously they're like, we'll move you to another room, you know, and we were super nice. It took a little while, but what I loved is during that time, it was Callie's the one we were talking to. Rachel came over while she saw Callie kind of on the phone, and she just started chatting with us. What'd you guys do today? What are your plans? Where you're from? So we weren't just standing there twiddling our thumbs. So we had full blown conversation with her. And
it was nice.
Yeah, it was very, very nice. So they moved us a building over, but it was a preferred room. And we're going to be in the Surf's Up area. And wasn't a big issue, wasn't anything. And, you know, they took good care of us in the situation that we needed to. So, but we also, you know, there was nothing they could do about it. And this is where we always say, you know, be nice to cast members.
Yeah.
We could have walked down there. We had a long day. We really did want to get in our room. We wanted to shower up. We were going to head to Magic Kingdom for Happily Ever After that night. Like, we could have made a big stink about it, but what good is that really going to do anyone? You know? So we got our room moved, and then
it smelled great.
It did. It smelled wonderful in the new room. So we headed over to Magic Kingdom. We had not seen Happily Ever After within a Magic Kingdom in quite some time. Yeah. So I was very excited to go do that. And it is Princess Week.
Yes.
Even though we had Princess Month throughout August, and there were a lot of treats available, there were a couple specific treats that were only available during Princess Week. Now, unfortunately, they are gone.
I'm so sad.
We still want to talk about this one.
Yes.
What did we get to try?
I wish it was still there.
Yeah, it was only on my list because of who it represents, but I know the flavors had you most excited, right?
Yes, and this is a Tiana cone, and this was at not Friar's Nook. The
Storybook Treats right next to Friar's Nook.
I'm like, hang on. I'm like,
in there between Friar's and Winnie the Pooh.
Yes. This is white chocolate and frost mint soft serve, swirled, topped with a white chocolate crispy pearls and a chocolate decoration in a sugar cone. It was $6.29, and holy moly, this thing was incredible. I almost wish we got two.
Yeah.
It was so refreshing, so good. I'm so sad that it's gone. And
I hope maybe it got like real popular reviews and they'll bring it back. Like they've done that before.
Yeah.
You know, you can get a lot of these specialty ice creams and sundaes that originally I think were just supposed to be for a short period of time. And they're back there like indefinitely now.
Yeah. So this would be nice if Disney's listening. Bring it back.
It was so good.
It was so
I loved
good.
it.
Yeah.
That combination of the mint soft serve, which was light. It was, you know, it wasn't like
it wasn't
too in your face.
Yes.
Where you're gonna walk around for the next hour like I just taste mint.
Yeah.
And
like
then I loved the chocolate crispy pearls. The crunch of those. This was excellent.
Yes, it was.
Hope it sticks around.
Yeah.
And then we caught Happily Ever After.
And we actually caught it on Main Street, which was really cool because we've not done that before. And watching the projections
We've always been in the hub.
Yeah. Watching the projections down Main Street, that was, I mean, I literally, at one point, I did not tell you this, but I teared up. Like looking up at you, like, you know, we're not drinking anymore. And just like, I was just so happy. It was really, really great.
It was amazing.
It was.
I loved it.
Yeah.
And so as soon as it was over, you know, this was going on at 9:20. We left. Of course, it's a madhouse getting out of there. The park was closing at 10 that night. So there wasn't a lot of time left. We're like, let's just get out of here. There's still going to be a rush. So we get back on the bus to sports. And as we got off the bus and we're coming out of the lobby, towards the pool of sports to head to our room.
Well, we were
and-
actually going to get some haunted nachos
Yes.
and the cupcake.
Yes.
They were starting to, how do you say it? Bring out some of the Halloween.
Yeah, the Halloween treats that are specific to the resort. Well, Rhonda gets a text message from Michelle, who we had been hanging out with all day. And she says, "Are you guys still at Magic Kingdom? What is going on?"
Yeah.
And we have heard nothing.
I'm like, what?
So
What do you mean?
for a little bit, I start going on Twitter. I start looking around. There's not a lot of information for a little bit. Anybody who was out there, this was the night that they thought there was potentially an active shooter either within Magic Kingdom or the monorail area. Because people were very confused. They had evacuated areas. They had put people, cast members had gotten guests into stores, into backstage areas. And as we start trying to figure out what's going on, there's people that saying, again, and this is where like social media can give you the most up-to-date news, but it can also give you the most up-to-date wrong news.
Yes.
So what happened is eventually Orange County Police and everything came through, and what they found is that there had been some sort of altercation that occurred.
Like a fight or something.
Yeah, a fight or something, which is completely not good or okay or understandable, but at the same time, it almost unfortunately doesn't surprise you when there is these masses of people trying to get out of there. So what ended up happening is there was some sort of altercation. Something was going on. A balloon popped, which understandably frightened people about what that could have been, and that caused this hysteria. But, we're getting we're still trying to figure out what's going on. We're getting messages from people on social, on text going, "Are you guys there? What's going on? Are you okay?" And we're just like, we don't know what's going on. Like,
right.
So it was crazy.
It was.
With all of that being said, from everything that I did see, the encounters that people had, huge kudos to cast members, to many of the guests. This is a very scary situation, regardless of what it is, but they did what they needed to do to get people to safety during that time and get them out of the Magic Kingdom. They shut down buses. They shut down monorails because the ferry boats were the quickest way to get people out of there. And Disney had a lot to deal with after. A lot of people had to leave stuff behind because they just wanted to get them out of there. So anyway, I will say within those parks is one of the safest places probably in the United States that you can truly be.
Yeah.
But know that if stuff does hit the fan, Disney's always prepared. So kudos to everybody that was involved. Okay. All-Star in-zone food court. We did get some specialty items that night. What did we end up having? We
ended getting the chicken adobo nachos. So this was blue corn tortilla chips, grilled chicken adobo, toasted pumpkin seeds, dried cranberries, roasted corn, pico, and zesty pumpkin cheese sauce, finished with a cilantro lime crema and yellow corn tortilla strips for $12.49. Now, we also got the plant-based monster cupcake. So this is supposed to be a chocolate cupcake with a ghoulish swirl of vanilla, quote-unquote, buttercream for $5.99.
Let's talk about that one first.
Let's talk about this one first. I was super excited, but it said plant-based. Then I was like, okay. I did not like it. In fact, the buttercream was the best. Like I would keep eating that.
The cake part just wasn't
the cake was
good.
Just
it was very dense.
It was weird. And it
had a
felt
weird flavor to it
in my mouth. Like
it had a very weird texture.
Yeah, texture. Yep.
Yeah. So I think we got about halfway through it, and then I think I ate some of the buttercream off.
I took 2 bites because I took another bite. I was like, let me try it again, and I was like, nope, I can't. So yeah, I ate some of the buttercream, and that was it.
We personally just didn't care for it.
So it was a little sad because right next to it was the amazing Stitch cupcake that we had and that we loved it.
Yes.
But anyways,
what do you think about the nachos?
I just started to say, go on to the nachos.
An interesting take on nachos.
It is. And it was very cool because it's very Halloween-y. But
you said weenie.
I was nervous. And I took a bite, and I was like...
It looks like a hot mess.
I did.
And we were getting it to go, so they served it in a big cardboard container. First of all, for $12.49...
Because of all the different colors.
Yeah, but it's a lot, I think. And when it's just piled in this big, like, cardboard container, I think it's hard to see everything. You know what I mean?
Well...
But it is a huge portion.
It actually was.
Yeah.
It was funny because I took a bite and I'm kind of like, this is different. But then, like, I don't know. It's weirdly all of a sudden everything just worked.
Yeah.
Almost like that, where you take a bite and then it's your almost aftertaste for a second. You're like, okay, that is really good. And yeah, I really, really liked this a lot. The pumpkin cheese sauce was just, it wasn't in your face. It was really subtle, but still enough for you. It was, again, it worked. It was fantastic. I loved it.
I did too. I really liked it. And like you said, there's so much going on, but it all worked together very, very well. And what I love with this pumpkin cheese sauce, I watch The Kitchen on Food Network a lot.
Yeah, you do.
And Jeff Morrow on there has made a like pumpkin cheese sauce or a butternut squash cheese, like fake kind of sauce. And I've always been so intrigued by it, but I honestly just never felt like making it at home ourselves. Right. So to actually try it was super duper cool. And I thought these were great. These will be through the Halloween season.
Yeah.
I know they're available at all the All-Stars. I believe they're at Pop Century as well. They tend with some of these treats to have the same thing. I would too. And I love now, like the food court was open till 11 p.m.
Which was super
nice to get back and have that snack. Cause this was really like, this was our dinner.
Yes.
You know, after having all the food and wine stuff. Before we move on to the next one though, is there any other take on nachos that you have had maybe recently that was not specifically the Italian nachos from Italy? Was there any, did anybody try and make their own version?
You're a mess, but
and
yes.
I'm just saying,
Jeremy
if Bob
did.
and Josh are listening, I am for hire.
He made us the other night the nachos from Italy, or his take on the nachos from Italy. We literally did buy the fresh pasta that was for lasagna.
Yep.
And we cut those up and fried them. And then he made a crock pot meat sauce. And then for lettuce, he used basil. He drizzled some balsamic on it. He had a top scoop of ricotta on top for like a sour cream. He actually made a like almost salsa with tomatoes. It was literally
some shredded mozzarella, like
flippantastic.
And the thing was, and I wanted to do it just to say, I know we give Italy a hard time. Most everybody does, but the simple fact was, and just to show, right, everything was very store bought. Like I put a pound of frozen ground beef we happen to have in the freezer in a crock pot. I cooked it down, I drained it, and then I added a jar of our favorite marinara sauce, right? So it's not like I was slaving over a stove all day, crushing tomatoes with my hands or something and adding all these seasonings, right? Bought a block of mozzarella, good mozzarella, shredded it ourselves. I bought already diced tomatoes and simply seasoned them with salt, pepper, garlic, and onion powder, right? A scoop of ricotta right from the store.
Yep.
Even though Rhonda does make really good ricotta. And my point was they could just make something that is 10 times better. It is still very easy and could still be off the shelf. So, but they were really, really good.
They really were.
And do I share my idea in case anybody wants to invest?
Sure, babe.
So,
I mean,
I like to come up with hypothetical restaurants that I would open that combine things, right? And so my idea is you get a fusion restaurant and you fuse together all the dishes like this of Italian nachos, of Italian food and Mexican food, and you call it Nacho Mamma Mia's.
Okay.
You can't tell me that's not genius.
Cute. It's great. But what all are you going to have?
Well, so far we have Italian nachos, and I've not gotten... But we've made Mexican lasagna before, right? We've done Mexican taco stuffed shells, Mexican pizza. Like, you could really do something with this. Okay. I'm gonna start to develop more and more ideas in my head. So, but anyway, let's go ahead and move on to Friday morning. We've mentioned in the past, they have now, especially at all the All-Stars, they have these wonderful coffee espresso machines that use Joffrey's coffee. They can make everything from lattes to Americanas to cappuccinos. You can get caffeinated, you can get decaf. They have a whole bunch of flavored syrups and stuff on hand.
But they don't have pumpkin.
No, they do not.
So
at BYOP.
Yeah, or you can go into the parks, and at the Joffreys, they did put out some pumpkin pot coffees.
Yes, we'll talk about those when we go to Hollywood
Mhm.
Studios. So I've been going down and getting coffee, and funny enough, I forgot this existed, but a buddy of mine, Kyle, that I work on another podcast and stuff with, he had actually sent me a reel from Instagram like 2 weeks ago of this peanut butter and jelly croissant. And I was just like, I haven't heard of that thing. That sounds interesting. And I just forgot about it. So I'm there getting the coffee, and I look over, and in the pastry case is the peanut butter and jelly croissant. I'm like, I'm going to get it, right? I love PB&Js.
Yeah, you
Rhonda
do.
doesn't care for them. So this is $5.79, and it is one of the big, delicious croissants.
Oh, yeah, that was.
On the outside, half of it is covered in like a, I think it's a light white chocolate that is red. I think it might just be food color, or it might have some sort of flavoring to it, like of a strawberry. And then inside is like this whipped peanut butter and strawberry jelly.
Oh, so there was
Inside.
peanut butter and jelly inside too.
Yeah. But it was more heavy on the peanut butter, but it was like whipped. It wasn't like just filled with peanut butter. I think it had been combined with maybe even like, these weren't refrigerated, so I don't think it was cream cheese, but it had more of that consistency of like if you were to take cream cheese and heavy whipping cream and whip them together.
Because I did not
and then
taste
add peanut
this
butter jelly.
because
This thing was outstanding.
I just
Absolutely
don't
loved
like
it.
peanut
Yeah.
butter and jelly.
I ate half of it then with my coffee. I put it in the fridge, and the next morning I ate the other half cold. I loved this. This is one of my favorite pastries I have had. For if you can't make it to one of the All-Stars and you want something that is fun and different pastry-wise, you can always go to Woody's Lunchbox in Hollywood Studios, and you can get their Lunchbox tarts. We'll talk about a specialty one in a little bit. They have the cream cheese warm soft pretzel at Magic Kingdom. That is at the lunching pad. We love at Magic Kingdom at Gaston's the creme brulee croissant.
Oh, that's so good.
Just a different take on something.
So good.
Highly recommend.
Yeah.
Kringla Bakery Cafe, of course. They've got the school bread. You can go to the patisserie over there in EPCOT. In France, they've got a lot of great pastries in there. The Tiger Tail chocolate twist at the Isle of Java in Animal Kingdom, or even the Cheshire Cat one over in Magic Kingdom. So all of those are like just those cool takes on pastries, a new take on something classic.
Yeah.
Okay, so we went back to EPCOT. We did more food. We got rained on, right? So we went back to the room. We changed. We went back to EPCOT to see the fray, like we mentioned. Got rained on. That's when we kind of called it quits and said, let's just figure something else out for the evening.
Yes.
So we went back to the room to change yet again. 3 outfits that day. It was like I was hosting the Oscars, right? So what did we decide to end up doing that night? And this was my favorite thing that I think we've done that we started to do over the past year is when we just randomly do something like this, like the Cape May Cafe dinner,
Right.
where we just go, you know what?
We're hungry.
Something
Let's do
changed.
something.
We're hungry. Let's do something. Let's almost just open up My Disney Experience and let's just see what dining's available.
Well, and it was funny because this night, like literally everything was available. I mean, even down to Cinderella's Royal Table, right?
Yeah.
There was like 2 things that weren't.
Yeah, like the boathouse wasn't available.
And Victoria and Albert's.
Yeah, obviously that's not. Skipper Canteen
Oh, yeah.
shockingly was unavailable, which I was happy to see.
Mm-hmm.
But we knew we were like, you know what, let's go to Disney Springs and we'll kind of
Yeah.
figure it out when we get
Yeah.
there.
So we actually went to Terralina Crafted Italian.
Which was picked. Technically, I was looking at stuff and I was messaging my good friend Lucy.
Uh-huh.
And I was saying, we were all of a sudden both were kind of like, we were soaking wet today. Even though it's still warm outside, we kind of want something hearty and comforting.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do Italian.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just messaging Lucy because she's like, what are you doing? What are you guys up to? What's tonight? What are your plans? And I said, well, we're thinking either Maria and Enzo's or Terralina.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, Caleb, who's her wonderful husband, said, you should go to Terralina. He says they have amazing charcuterie.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay, we're going to do it. And if it stinks, it's Caleb's fault. If it's good, good job, Lucy. So we got Terralina.
Yes, we did.
We've never been here.
No, we haven't. So you do get your Disney dining plan for 1 credit. Your annual pass holders receive 10% off, and so does your Visa card members. Your hours are brunch Saturday and Sunday from 11:30 to 3 p.m. Lunch is 11:30 a.m. to 3:55 p.m. and then dinner is 4 p.m. to 11 p.m. because your 5-minute difference because it does not change your menu.
Yep.
So so we went and sat down and then got some stuff. We got a appetizer for us, and our awesome cast member Shannon was really good. It was super funny because we went ahead and got the Italian fries, and then we were going to go to order dinner, and I was trying to figure out what I wanted, and they did have a wild mushroom risotto, and I said it, and he was like that, and he didn't even ask what else I was trying to fix, and then he goes, well, what else were you? And I was thinking maybe an eggplant parmesan because I love that, and he just was like, nope, wild mushroom risotto, and I was like, ooh, I'm excited, a little nervous but excited because of Canada. But so let's talk about our awesome appetizer was the Italian fries. So this is a creamy cheese sauce salami for $16. This was funny because these are pretty much like would you call them checker French fries?
Yeah, I think of them as the checkers fries. You could get frozen fries. You get frozen. You heat them up in your air fryer, your oven at home, and they're delicious. Don't get me wrong.
I just started to say,
yeah, they're absolutely
they
delicious.
Were fantastic.
Yeah.
This was great because the cheese sauce was, I don't know what it was, but it was amazing.
I know.
And these French fries were crispy, and then even still almost sitting in a little bit of the cheese sauce for a while, you could still eat, and it was almost still crunchy and crispy. The salami was great. This thing was absolutely outstanding.
Yeah.
I loved it and had to go, all right, put something over it because I want to eat
it's a good
my
portion.
food. So
everything here are giant portions, and they have all your Italian classics, but it was, and this is where, I'll throw frickin' Italy under the bus again at Food and Wine. How simple is it for them to come? I've never seen Italian fries.
Yeah.
And it makes sense that they would use something that most likely is a frozen fry because it's the only fried dish. There's no reason for them to be back there, hand cutting potatoes, and double frying, to get crispy, nice fries. They're using frozen fries, but then they're elevating them to a whole new level. And this would be the easiest thing in the world for them to do the Italian booth. But they didn't just phone it in. They took time with the cheese sauce. There are these nice thin slices of salami, and there's plenty of it. These were outstanding.
So why did we not go with the charcuterie board?
So they do have a charcuterie, but there's only one, and we will go back and get this. But it is an antipasti tower that serves 4 people for $46. Yeah. So that's why we decided against this.
Oh my God. Now, Jeremy did tell me later because just who did we used to get it from?
What? Magical Charcuterie.
Thank you.
Yeah.
He did think about that.
Yeah, if you get this on your first night.
And you get it, right. And we were, still had a few nights that we could eat this.
I wish we had done it.
I was like, all right, that made more sense, but it was after the fact. But this is why we didn't get it because again, it's $46.
Yeah.
But
you get
this
prosciutto, spicy capicola, sopressata, bocconcini, pecorino, grana padano, tomatoes, pickled vegetables, grilled zucchini, Parmesan crisp, olives, and house-made truffle potato chips. Comes in this giant tower of antipasti. And I kept looking for someone to walk by.
Nobody had it.
Or someone to be serving it, and we never saw it. So I looked it up. We 100% will get this next time. Yeah. And again, I wish we had, because each night getting back in the room, we didn't bring any snacks. I would have snacked on stuff.
Yes.
Or even in the morning. So I would almost recommend it for that. And we'll probably do that next time.
Yeah.
All right. Let's talk about your wild mushroom risotto first.
Yeah, so this is truffle shaved Parmesan and balsamic glaze for $29. He asked if I wanted to add a protein, and I was like, you know what? I think I'm going to go with some shrimp and put that in there. So we did. It did bring my dish.
It was 12. I think it was 12 extra for chicken, and then it was about 16 extra or 19 extra for shrimp.
I thought so.
Yeah. So it became a very expensive
very
dish. It was
expensive dish.
$38. Yeah, right. It was a $38. No, I'm sorry, $48 dish by the time it was done.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
But I am not gonna lie. I think it was worth every penny.
Yeah.
The shrimp were very large. I had to cut them 2 or 3 times to have like smaller bites.
Mm-hmm.
The shrimp was cooked perfectly. The risotto was perfect, but it was really neat because there was, I think, some garlic in there that was a little thicker and then a little crunchy. So I really kind of liked it. At first I wasn't sure. I thought it was water chestnuts because I don't like water chestnuts. But I think the more I think about or was trying to figure it out was actual garlic. This dish was fantastic.
It was.
Like so good. But it was so much, a large portion and filling. I did take it home. And I didn't eat it cold, but I did eat it. We did get to take it and bring it all the way back to Jacksonville or to St. Augustine. And then I ate it the night we got home. It was so
the
good.
sauce was amazing.
Oh, so
like
good.
the risotto was cooked like kind of al dente. Like it had a little bit of a bite to it. It was so the amount of flavor they packed into this thing was insane. And we could have just gotten this and split it.
Yeah.
That's how big the portion was. But we didn't. We each got an entree.
Yep.
I went with the lasagna.
Yes, you did.
And this is spinach, ricotta, mozzarella, pecorino, tomato sauce, and basil. This is $26. If you get it with a meat sauce, it just adds $3, so it's a $29 dish. Now, for like enhancements or add-ons, they have a couple. One of them was a meatball for $5. So I decided I would add the meatball as well, and it comes right in the dish with you. Again,
and the meat sauce.
Huge portion. Yeah, and the meat sauce. So
I got the meat sauce. Why did you get the meat sauce
and the meatball? I know, looking back, I wouldn't have gotten the meat sauce, but I'm glad I did. This was outstanding. It was just a perfect lasagna.
The meatball was like handmade.
The meatball was handmade.
It
was tender and moist. Like, that's a good meatball. I loved it. It was a big meatball. I know $5 is a lot, but like I would add a meatball onto your dish. It was excellent. I loved every bit of it. It was a perfect lasagna from top to bottom. I took half of it left. I did eat some cold in the room.
What'd you think?
Still good cold.
Okay.
And then brought it home as well and heated it up and ate it. Now, the only thing is I wish I would have had a little bit of tomato sauce at the time to add a little bit more. Just because at that point I'd eaten a lot of the meat sauce already. So I would have just liked a little bit extra after zapping it in the microwave. But I loved it. This place has a wonderful atmosphere.
Yeah,
it's very easy to get into. They've got a great indoor bar area you could walk up to. They have a beautiful wraparound outdoor bar area that you could go and sit and have drinks and even just get, that tower. That's probably what we would do next time.
Yeah.
Is just sit there and just get a tower. Like it, I loved this place. And I had heard everything in the past that this was either the worst ever or people that were like, I really like it.
Yeah.
I mean, we're on the really like it side.
We are.
And I want to go back and see if every dish and every time lives up to this expectation because it was so freaking good. I absolutely loved it. So we had already, when we were in the night before, we were in the End Zone food court. we saw something that we wanted to try this weekend. So we decided not to get dessert at Terralina. So we went back to All Star Sports, went to End Zone, and what did we go for?
They have a mini kitchen sink sundae for $24.99. This is your choice. It says vanilla or chocolate ice cream. They didn't ask, and they put vanilla on one side, chocolate on the other, which I was fine. This is your soft serve, which was fantastic. It's topped with hot fudge, marshmallow, strawberry boba pearls, whipped cream, cherry, and a strawberry whoopie pie.
Yeah.
I mean, this
$24.99.
It was so good. It's their soft serve, so it was great. That whoopie pie, that strawberry, it was so good. So good.
I mean, it was, what I loved is that, and this is about half the size of the Mickey kitchen sink over at Beaches and Cream.
Yeah.
Right? So it's not, you don't need a family of 4 to 6.
No.
But 2 to 4 people is easy. I mean, we ate it. We put a good dent in this.
We did.
But didn't quite finish it.
Correct.
But you could easily 2 to 4 people. I just loved that they took so much attention to detail to make a very good strawberry whoopie pie on its own.
Mm-hmm.
If they were just selling that
I
strawberry
agree.
whoopie pie only for $4.49, you would buy it and love it, as opposed to just being, a throwaway for an Instagram-worthy photo because there's a whoopie pie and whipped cream and all this stuff towering on it. It was excellent.
Mm-hmm.
I love this. This is also available at all the values.
Yes.
So, and they're open till 11.
Yeah.
I'd
There
get
you
it
go.
again.
Uh-huh.
I really, really would.
I would too.
loved it.
And then I'd probably pick just vanilla. Like, can we just get vanilla ice cream?
Yeah, I mean, we're not
Just
big on
because
chocolate
of it,
ice creams ourselves in general, but
Yep.
the chocolate worked with everything
It
else.
did.
So I really enjoyed it. So Saturday, go back to that 700th episode, which I
Yeah.
hope everybody enjoyed. We recorded from inside the parks. We went to Magic Kingdom, rode the Liberty Bell. We went and toured through Tom Sawyer's Island. We went over to Animal Kingdom, and we walked all around Dino Land.
Mm-hmm.
We ended up at Disney Springs that night, and we took you along shopping and everything like that. But the main reason for Disney Springs was to go meet up with our wonderful friends, Jessica and Landon,
Mhm.
who own Vacation Grocery Delivery. And as we've always said, we do not recommend Vacation Grocery Delivery because our friends own it.
Oh my gosh. They're amazing.
It was an amazing service that we utilized
Absolutely.
prior to becoming friends with them.
Yep.
And the reason we became friends with them, we were so impressed with the service, we just ended up kind of striking up a conversation and friendship. They got involved with our charity event, the Main Street 16 Challenge, and we just struck up this wonderful friendship. And we love them to death. And they're amazing because they're two of the busiest folks around between travel and running this incredible business, which is growing. But every time we come to town, if we say, hey, we're going to be in town, is there any chance you guys are available like Saturday night for dinner? They do everything they can to come out and see us.
Mhm.
And it's awesome. And
Yep.
so we went to Summer House,
Yeah.
which we had dined with them before for the
Mhm.
first time. And we decided to go back. Rhonda and I, other than me snapping a photo and us talking about it now, didn't plan to work. We just wanted to catch up with them. We wanted to just have a friendly, we weren't worried about live streaming or taking all kinds of photos or making Instagram reels. And that was another reason I liked going to Summer House, because we've been there before, right?
Yeah, but we did get some new food.
We did.
So
And if you want those full reviews and diving in, the first time we dined with Jessica and Landon, a full lunch, was episode 629. So not
Mhm.
too long ago. And then we went back with our whole big group when we sat at the bar area.
Mhm.
And that's episode 648.
Yes.
Now, we'll talk about what we ate, but the one
Mhm.
thing I did want to mention, what Jessica and Landon did,
Oh yeah, that's
right now is Orlando's magical dining program, which is going on at restaurants throughout the Orlando area.
Mm-hmm.
Summer House is participating, being a third party in one of those. This is running from August 16th all the way up to September 30th. So these are pre-fixed menus at all these different restaurants for $40 per person. Of course, you're going to add tax and gratuity. So with Summer House, any of these restaurants for the most part, you're going to get an appetizer
Mm-hmm.
from this prefix menu. You're going to get an entree, and then you're going to get to choose a dessert
Mm-hmm.
for $40 a person.
That's really good.
For example, the appetizers they have are a nice house salad. You can do truffle fries, or you can do Brussels sprouts. They also have Chef's Magical Dining Creation Only, which is a chilled Catalan gazpacho.
Oh.
For an entree, you can pick between their famous herb chicken breast pollard, which is what Landon did. They have a miso glazed salmon. That's what Jessica did. You can get a rigatoni alla vodka, or that Chef's Magical Special Creation is a wood grilled pork tenderloin. Dessert, you get to pick from a butterscotch pot de creme, a flourless brownie sundae, or warm chocolate chip cookie. Now, what's amazing is the miso glazed salmon alone, if you just bought that on Summer House's menu, would be $39.
Yes.
So for $1 extra,
Yes.
Jessica herself got a appetizer
Mhm.
and a dessert.
And I think
this deal is ridiculous.
it really
Rush to
is,
Summer House.
and it was super funny because when we were discussing it at the Ford table, a cast member and
he was cleaning the one next to us and
but
sat
he
down.
he was fixing it because
Oh, is that what he was doing?
It was
Okay.
wobbly.
Yeah. I didn't know it
So-
was somebody that worked there.
Yes, and I wasn't. It was one of those things. I saw him out of the corner of my eye, but I wasn't paying attention, and he overheard, and he piped up.
I was basically questioning this
Yes.
deal, and there's no way they're full portions for
Yeah.
$40 when the salmon alone is $39.
And he piped up and said, "Yes, it is."
Yeah.
And he
I was
said
like,
it's a
"Dang."
very
Yeah.
good deal.
It is.
I
I wish I had done it looking back.
Well, I had pasta the night before, which was the wild risotto.
And that was my
and
big thing.
I was going to get the vodka.
Mm-hmm.
I just kind of wanted a like burger or some type of, because I've had the salads here and I wanted something different. So we decided to not go off the menu, but that really was a good deal. And
it's an insane deal.
I'm like, if this is, I'd check out other ones.
I think
around.
we make it back. Yeah, I'd like to look at the full list, and
Yeah.
see if there's anything else on property.
Yep. Especially until September 30th.
I'd be, end of the month, we're going to be at Disney Springs for 3 nights. I could see almost going back and checking this out,
and doing that,
and doing the $40
thing.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I would probably do the pork tenderloin. So what instead do we opt with? Let's start with our zero proof beverages.
Yeah.
They have one here. That is one of our favorites, right? That you got.
I did, but Amy got it the very first time because I do still love my summer breeze or whatever.
The summer breeze with your jalapeno honey and vodka
good.
and
But I was like, no, I don't want it tonight. So Amy had this before. It is a wait list. It is sparkling rose lemonade, elderflower lemon for $9, and it's a beautiful wine glass. And it is just fantastic. I loved sipping on it throughout my dinner, and it was just really, really good.
It looks so elegant.
It is.
And it looks
Mm-hmm.
it looks like you should be like waiting to watch the Kentucky Derby at brunch, sitting outside, seriously, like on a lake with your big hat, and just sipping this beautiful pink drink in this beautiful wine glass. Like, this thing is so good. I wanted one, but you got one, so I was like, well, I'll do something different.
Yeah. So what did you get?
I started with the pineapple kick, which is pineapple orange and that habanero honey that you love. All their zero proofs or mocktails are $9. It's just summer house.
Yep.
This is summer.
Mm-hmm.
This is that thing that it's familiar flavors. It's done very well. It's light. It's refreshing. You're sitting by the pool. You're sitting by the lake or on the beach.
Mm-hmm.
And then I followed that up with their lakeside cooler, which is calamansi, fever tree, yuzu, lime, and mint. And again, everything here is exactly what you'd expect from this level of restaurant being called Summer House.
Mm-hmm.
It's exactly what you want, especially for the way that their meals are.
Mm-hmm.
All their meals are very fresh. They're very light. And these pair perfectly with any of them. So we did go ahead and get an appetizer, and this is what Landon also ordered with his $40 deal.
Mm-hmm.
And we went with the truffle fries.
Mm-hmm.
These come with Parmigiano and then a aioli to dip in for $15.95.
That aioli is so good. It's like a garlic aioli. Oh my gosh.
It was too much for me,
I
personally.
loved it.
You
I
loved
saved it.
So did Jessica.
To eat with some of my burger.
Yeah.
So good.
But the fries themselves, I thought were perfect. They're a little bit of thinner fries.
Mm-hmm.
They're loaded with Parmesan cheese on top. And for me, the perfect amount of truffle.
Yeah.
Because sometimes for me, I do like truffle, but sometimes it's just way too overpowering.
Yeah.
Or you don't taste it at all and you're thinking, why did you bother?
Right.
I thought this was a perfect level.
Good.
I loved it. And normally with something like this, like the Parmesan fries over at Bar Riva, I'll still get a side of ketchup and I'll dip them in it.
Right.
I didn't even bother. They were good just as is. And I rarely eat fries without something going with them, right? Some sort of sauce or something.
Yeah.
So love these. These would be a great bar snack. Sit down, get yourself a wait list, just get some truffle fries, and just kick back and enjoy. I've had the pizza there before, and I really enjoyed it. So I got the Hobbs pepperoni this time, which has mozzarella, Parmesan, tomato sauce for $21.95. This is probably a 14-inch thin crust pizza, wood-fired. It goes in my top 3 pizzas, along with Via Napoli and oh my God, Pizza Ponte, because I will equal it with the pizza that we had at Tangerine over at Swan Reserve.
Okay.
I put that in my top 3. To me, I would think these came out of the same kitchen.
Okay.
They're like the crust, the taste, the wood fired, everything about them seem the exact same.
Nice.
It's a great pizza. I only planned to eat half of it, but we sat and chatted for so long. And Angie, who was our waitress,
she was amazing.
We took up a lot of her time.
Yeah.
Like 3 hours worth.
Yeah.
Which, we were ordering stuff and eating the whole time and talking the whole time, but she was just so adamant about just take your time. Y'all, I can tell your friends you're catching up. She wasn't worried about turning the table and trying to get someone in there. So we tipped her very generously because of that. So I ended up eating the entire pizza over
Yeah.
the course of the time that we sat there because I just kept going back for more.
Yeah.
Cold, hot. This is really, really good.
Yeah.
So you did get your burger,
I did. So
which I originally was going to get.
This is the prime cheeseburger for $21.95. Cheddar, lettuce, tomato, pickle, mustard, and mayo with fries. And I got actually sweet potato fries. Asked for some honey.
Dude,
So
those
good.
sweet potato fries are outstanding.
They were, because they were like, I don't know how they were, but they were like thin and crispy.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was
thin and wide. Does that make sense?
Yeah, like so good.
Yeah.
Like I would get
thought they
these
were
again.
outstanding.
Yeah.
And that dipping in honey is a game changer.
100%.
Oh my God. Because
so good.
you don't know what to dip sweet potato fries in.
Honey.
Ranch is actually pretty good too. If it's a house-made ranch, not just like a Hidden Valley off the shelf.
But honey.
What'd you think of the burger? It looked like a great burger. I didn't try it because of a lot of the stuff on it.
Yeah,
but.
I just went ahead and got it the way it was. I did. I think she said, "How did I want it cooked?" And I said medium.
Mm-hmm.
It was medium, but I will say there was a spot, and my brain will start to get nervous, but that looked more on the rare side, and
like in the center of it.
Well, almost like on
it came to you cut in half.
It did.
Correct.
I ate the one half completely, and then I was like eating the second half, and on that second half there was a spot that I was like, all right, I think I'm done, because I'm also like, I don't want to get sick. But it was great, and I was fine. So, and I was full. So, but yeah, it was fantastic. You know, you wouldn't have liked anything because of all the stuff on it with the pickle and the mustard and the mayo, but like I could still taste the burger, but I could taste all the condiments. Like it was a really, really good burger to me, and I just was like, this is fantastic. I dipped a little bit of the burger bites in the aioli.
And did you recommend that? Did you like that?
Oh yeah.
If you didn't order the fries and somebody went to order the burger, would you recommend they ask if they can get a side of that aioli to put on it?
Yeah, I would probably say aioli is the mayonnaise anyways, but
fancy mayo.
Right. I would almost say, can you take the mayo off and add the garlic aioli?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So good.
I could see getting this next time, but getting it basically is just a cheeseburger. You know, or maybe I'd see like, do you have bacon you could add to it? Or
I really like
can you guys do a fried egg?
Mm-hmm.
I would see putting on there.
Okay.
A fried egg on a burger, dude. That too is a game changer if you like fried eggs. So after that, we did walk around with them for a little bit. And again, we just have the best time with them. They're so fun to talk to, and they've got amazing stories, and just they're so cool. I love Jess and Landon. But we walked around for a little bit, and then luckily Jessica for some reason mentioned Haleo, and I was like, shoot, Rhonda, we need to stop by Haleo.
Mm-hmm.
Our good friend Chris is now there.
Yep.
As the bar manager.
Mm-hmm.
And so we went to see him, and so we go and sit down at the bar on the far end of Haleo, and we're sitting there waiting for him because he's kind of running around a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And Rhonda turns, or you turn and look at somebody leaving, right?
Well, there was this person sitting. I mean, there's people sitting all along the bar, but I kept looking like for Chris, because as soon as we sat down, like he walked away, didn't see us. And so this girl that was sitting closest to me completely had her back to me, but I really couldn't tell. And when she got up to leave, her side profile, something hit me where I was like, holy crap, that's Marcy. And I'm like, Marcy, and who works at Bar Riva.
Yeah.
And
where we originally met Chris and Marcy at Bar Riva. And we would go see them all the time. And
and she was
Marcy's
like, oh
the best.
my God.
Yeah.
And so we hung out for a little bit. She, poor thing, stayed until her friends were like, Marks, are you coming or not?
Yeah. But Chris came over. It was like it was like a family reunion. It was a Bar Riva family reunion.
It was cute.
And it was so great.
Yep.
Yeah. So I wanted to get, because we're sitting there, so I wanted to get something, but we didn't want food.
And I was just so full still that I was like, I don't even want anything. Can I just have water?
Yeah. So I got the Lotus, which is one of my favorites.
So good. I tasted it though, because it's so good.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite mocktail zero proofs. This is a true zero proof beverage.
Mm-hmm.
We'd had this before. It's probably my number 2 behind that Heart and Soul over at the Edison. It's this seed lip spice zero proof spirit. It's got London essence, white peach, and jasmine soda, and a bit of vanilla syrup for $12. It's outstanding. It's just, it is like a handcrafted cocktail, and it's 0 proof. It doesn't have the alcohol to it. We were sitting there for a little bit longer. I finished that. So I went ahead and got their grapefruit and honey. This is that Seedlip Grove 0 proof spirit. It's got lime, honey, Fever Tree Pink grapefruit soda, also for $12. It's another wonderful, handcrafted 0 proof beverage. So I would recommend any of the ones that they have there. But the Lotus, whether you drink alcohol, whether you don't, I'm sure you could probably add alcohol to it if you wanted, but I'd get it regardless. Especially if you're like there for lunch and you're like, well, I'm not drinking today, or I don't want one, at noon or whatever. Get this sucker. It's so good. Absolutely
Very
love
good.
that. All right, we're going to finish off with our Sunday over at Hollywood Studios, where, again, we recorded part of the 700th episode, walking through Muppets 3D. Well, we went to Muppets 3D and saw it.
We did.
Walked through Muppets Courtyard, over through Launch Bay. We took you along with some shopping. But we started off, and you'll get a little bit of this if you go back to that episode and some of my disappointment. But we did get Joffrey's Coffee because they have some special seasonal ones. What do they have over there here specifically? But then we also saw it at other locations, correct? Did we see these same ones at other locations at Joffrey's?
Yeah, because I got the pumpkin
like this wasn't
pie.
specific to this Joffrey's,
No,
correct?
I'm trying to remember now because
You got the pumpkin game changer.
that was in Magic Kingdom. On Sunday, you got an animal
Oh, that's right.
cracker
That's right.
thing.
Yeah, that's right. We did see these at Magic Kingdom, and we had them.
Yes.
Because you got the pumpkin game changer, and I got the I got a decaf pumpkin pie latte, I think, or they did something with it. Yeah,
You did. And then I'm trying to remember what I got.
This day in Hollywood.
Yeah, and I really, I'm not gonna lie, I don't remember.
I got whatever animal cracker one, but they had to switch it up for me, and then it wasn't the best, but they do have seasonal, and the seasonal ones were very good.
Yes.
So,
and it was good. And this is where I was saying earlier, get your, they don't have them at the resorts, but they do have all the stuff in the parks.
Yeah.
So, because they also have the Starbucks in the parks, which of course has
Right.
all the pumpkin stuff.
And we just hit Joffrey's because we do like Joffrey's, but we have Starbucks across the street. We go there 2-3 times
literally
a week.
walking distance.
Yeah, 2-3 times a week. So we get Joffrey's when we're here. And the lines and crowds are usually a lot less.
Yeah.
But we took our coffees and we went and picked up our mobile ordered what?
Pumpkin lunchbox tart. So this is a pumpkin pie filled pastry tart.
Where would one get such an item, Rhonda?
Oh, sorry, Woody's lunchbox.
Yes, I'm sure people figured it out, but
I thought you said it. Sorry, that's why I was like, where did we go over to
if we're
Woody's
anything,
lunchbox?
we try to be detailed.
Yes. So this is a pumpkin pie filled pastry tart with marshmallow fondant, candy corn, and Halloween sprinkles for $4.79. This is very I do feel like homemade because the tart it's really like biscotti like to me as far as in dry.
Yes.
The inside
but very flaky and soft and tender, and it does taste homemade.
It does. The inside to me was literally that pumpkin pie filling that you put in a pumpkin pie. It was great. The marshmallow fondant did not taste like that to me.
I got no marshmallow flavor. It just tasted like a fondant, a good fondant. Yeah.
A good
And it had pieces of candy corn stuck in it.
I like this with my coffee. I think this is a great add to your coffee.
Yeah.
And if you don't have coffee,
you have to have a beverage.
I would
with
have
it.
a
That's
beverage.
my only knock to these, and it's been my knock the whole time, is they are very dry.
Yeah.
But in a good way.
Yeah. I mean,
you
I
need something
really
with
like this one where
I loved it. I'd get it again.
You were like letting me eat it because I don't think you liked it as much as I did.
But I still liked it, and I would get it again.
Okay.
And when you really do, and I think I was still a little salty over my coffee being incorrect because they forgot my dulce de leche. And that was going to be a key component in the flavor profile of said coffee.
Okay.
But I really did enjoy this. And we hadn't been to Woody's Lunchbox in a long time. And I want to get the tachos again. I saw somebody walk by with those breakfast tachos. And I was like, we got to get back. Right now they're working on all the seating over there and expanding it. And redoing some of it, so they've actually
That's probably good.
They've actually moved all the seating temporarily
Oh.
into that walkway through Galaxy's Edge. So it's a very weird situation right now because you're basically almost in Galaxy's Edge eating your Woody's Lunchbox.
Okay.
So, but they are doing it because they're refurbing and doing some things to the regular seating area. So we had wanted to do, we mentioned this previously, that we hadn't been to Docking Bay 7 in a long time.
Yep.
This is one of those places like a Morimoto Asia that we don't go to a lot, but the experiences we have had, even though time is few and far between, between them, we've always raved about. And so we're like, we should probably go back and make sure it's still good. Right.
Yep.
So Mobile Order is our friend.
Yes, it is.
We had a gift card for the weekend.
Yep.
If you haven't heard our tip for that, not only register it at DisneyGiftCard.com, but go ahead and take the number from the gift card, put it in the notes in your phone. So, because you can't store them within My Disney Experience, a gift card. So when you're going to do Mobile Order, you can actually just copy and paste that gift card number right in there, and then you're good to go. You don't have to pull out the card and type it every time. So we really utilized Mobile Order. What did we get at Docking Bay 7? How'd you feel about being back in there? I mean, it had really been like 3 or 4 years.
It was great.
Probably. Yeah.
It was awesome. Still looks the same, but it's great.
Yeah.
So Jeremy got some moof juice that they have, which is simply fruit punch, simply orange with pineapple and chipotle pineapple for $5.99. We got some crispy herbed yuca for $4.99, which was 5 of them, correct?
There are 4.
Or 4.
Yeah.
4.
This is
yuca
a very
fries.
small portion.
It is.
So let's talk about these two before we get to our entrees. So we have some fun little tidbits with our entrees.
Okay.
You tried the moof juice. I mean,
I don't think I did actually.
Oh, really? It tastes, again, this tastes like one of the, it's
a Coke.
fine. I wouldn't bother spending $6 on it.
Okay.
It's a 12-ounce cup. It's a much smaller portion, I feel like, in a sense. And it's something where like you'd walk down the juice aisle of your grocery store.
Okay.
And like some brand like Welch's is having buy one, get one free. And you see one that says like, oh, yeah, it's literally simply orange with pineapple and chipotle pineapple. You can probably find this. And those are actually in the refrigerated section of your grocery store, the Simply brand.
Okay.
They're fine. It's just coming straight out of jar. It's nothing really special, I think. But I do like that they're trying to do something that's at least a little more inventive. Call it moof juice to go with the whole Star Wars theme. I just would save my $6 personally.
Yeah.
Or
go over to and get the blue milk.
Yes, or just go get the blue or green
good.
milk or something and bring
I like
back.
the blue.
Yeah. What did you think of the yuca fries? Even though there were only 4 of these for $5, $1.25 a fry.
I mean, I think they were fantastic though.
It was worth every penny.
It was.
I think there should be more, and I wish there would be more.
I do too.
But I'm okay, and I would mobile order just these for a snack.
I would too. I'm not gonna lie.
I love them. Another thing, you don't need to dip it in anything. No. They're perfectly cooked. This crispy outside, this very like tender and fluffy and soft inside. They're perfectly seasoned with some of these herbs. They got a nice kick of like salt. They're outstanding.
Yeah,
I wish these came as like a side maybe or something. I loved them. So good.
Yep.
What did you decide on, which, weren't too sure about getting from a quick service?
Because you said it and then you made me nervous.
But then I said, if you're going to get it from a quick service, get it from this one because we know how high quality this is.
So I got the Pica Tuna Poke.
Yeah, so Pica in Star Wars canon is an energetic river community on the outer rim of the planet Batuu, which we are in on Batuu, and lived in a small settlement mostly made up of tents, hunts, and cabins made from natural resources. The inhabitants mostly worked in fishing and farming, and some would actually commute into Black Spire Outpost, where the shopping and dining and all is located within Galaxy's Edge on Batuu. So I thought it was really cool that there was a story behind it. Now I had to look it up,
right?
But I was like, what is Pica or Pekka? And that's what it is.
That's
so.
Awesome.
What is actually in this dish?
So this is raw tuna tossed in a spicy sriracha dressing, served with green papaya salad, pickled mushrooms, fresh herbs, and crispy garlic for $18.49.
These are expensive quick service dishes.
They are, but again, this is raw tuna, and it is fantastic. Like, I was a little nervous. Jeremy did make me nervous, and I think I ate a couple of them, and I was like, but I'm like, no, everything tastes fine. It doesn't smell fishy. Like, it's fine. It's fine. And I'm not going to lie, I ate all of it. I ended up getting, because I was like, I'm full. And then I'm like, but the spice was so good. The sriracha dressing, the whole thing was so good that I literally, while we sat and talked and I ended up eating every piece of tuna.
Yeah.
I didn't leave. I was going to because my brain started to like play with me and
We
the
both
texture.
Have that. We both have that mental
and
illness.
I guess probably.
It probably is a mental illness.
But no, this was fantastic.
Yeah.
I would absolutely get this again.
Yeah.
We ate inside, so it wasn't hot and
Mhm.
gross and it was just, oh my gosh, it was so good.
Yeah, it came with two. Did you
And
make
you
the
liked
two
it.
big bib lettuce leaves that you could almost make like a little wrap with
That
it?
was really cool because I
Yeah.
ended up doing that.
Yep.
And that was so
Yeah.
good.
I can't believe they're serving this here because this belongs over at Summer House while you're
So
sitting outside by the lake drinking a wait list, or this belongs at like Narcoossee's as an appetizer, or this was table service
Mhm.
quality, and it was so good.
It really was.
I absolutely loved it. It was refreshing. It was well composed. Every bit just worked. They knocked it out of the park with this. And even though $8.49 is expensive, 18.49 is expensive. $8.49 would be a steal. You feel like you're getting a table service meal.
Mhm.
You know, so I love that. I went with the Pierre Genade, and I'm probably Star Wars folks. You can yell at me. I don't know it. Hot chicken tip yip. Fun to say, fun to eat. Now, Pierre Genade, if that's how you pronounce it, is a strong, spicy sauce made by members of the Mandalorian culture. It was developed thousands of years prior to the rise of the Galactic Empire. The exact origins are lost to history, though it is almost universally believed to have been created somewhere on the Mandalorian homeworld of Mandalore. Isn't that cool?
Wow.
I really think that's neat that they
is.
are welcoming these stories.
Absolutely.
So what this is a crispy chicken glazed in a spicy chipotle sauce and served with white rice and a relish of sweet corn, shishito peppers, jicama, plantains, and cilantro for $16.29. I'm shocked this is at a quick service. This is
good.
so good. It
Mhm.
had a good level of spice,
Yes.
but not like a lingering one or one that makes it not enjoyable.
Mhm.
It's one of the spiciest dishes I've eaten at Disney,
Mhm.
only because they tend to hold back,
Mhm.
but it's not crazy by
agree.
any means.
Yep.
The chicken is super crispy. It's a big portion. That sweet corn relish and like the jicama and plantain specifically, and then that white rice, they balance out any heat from the chicken. It was so good.
Mhm.
It was another one where I was full.
If you
and
like
I was
spice,
like, I'm going to finish it.
I would
because
get
I'm not
both of
taking it
these.
home.
Mhm.
And this is way too good to let even a piece of rice go to waste. Right?
Okay.
I loved it. I absolutely loved it.
Good.
All right. We did not get dessert there either because we had already previously picked up a dessert we were going to bring home. Thought maybe we'd eat it in the car, but I held off.
Mhm.
What did we get?
We got the Terror Cookie, which is basically a Tower of Terror cookie that is being sold right outside the shop when you get off the ride
At the Joffrey's
kiosk. This is a sugar cookie dyed purple with white chocolate chips, Oreo bits, and a dusting of cinnamon sugar on top for $6.39. And holy moly, this cookie was fantastic.
Yeah.
I loved it. It also went in our bag with Summer House cookies. We
Mhm.
did get a lot to go.
Yeah, we didn't even talk about those.
We didn't talk about
because
them.
we have talked about most of them.
We
before,
have, but there was Jeremy got 2 peanut butter cookies because he was actually going to use salt and straw and make a sandwich.
Yeah.
He did not, but these peanut butter cookies were
They're very
holy
good.
moly outstanding.
The cinnamon roll cookie from
We got one of those.
Summer House was very good. The birthday cake cookie, which was
Was-
like a sprinkle cookie, sugar cookie, I didn't love.
I didn't either,
But I
there
loved
was
their pinky,
Mhm.
which was a sugar cookie topped with pink icing and sprinkles around it that to me
Tasted
should have
more
been called a birthday
Yeah.
cake cookie. And I loved that thing.
It was really good.
So the Terror cookie, if you're comparing cookies, to me is much more like a Gideon's cookie
Yes.
in size, in thickness, in composition.
I agree.
It is more, what would be the word? Fragile. It's not as dense as
Like
a
when you
Gideon's
take a
cookie.
bite,
Like
it
when you go to
kinda
take a bite,
break.
it's
Yeah,
going to
yeah,
crumble and break.
Mhm.
Whereas a Gideon's, like you can almost put teeth marks in it and it's not going to fall apart. Right.
Okay.
So to me, though, it is much more comparable to a Gideon's.
Yeah.
And just it being purple and it having Oreo bits and white chocolate chips
so
and this
good.
dusting of cinnamon sugar, it felt like something that would have come out of Gideon's.
Yeah.
And I loved it.
Yeah.
It was gone by the time we got home. Well, by the time the night ended, I should say, after we got home.
Yeah.
Like between Lacey, you, and then I ended up just finishing it that
Mhm.
night. I loved it. They are not available every day. They are limited when they are available. I would recommend if you want one, going there first, especially if you're going to get Joffrey's, go to that Joffrey's. Now obviously if you're rope dropping and rushing to a tower or a rock and roller coaster, do that. But then I would look at going here and securing that cookie, even if you're going to save it in your bag and eat it later, because you might not have another chance to get it, unless, again, you're fortunate enough to go pretty often.
Yes.
So I loved it.
Yes. Very good.
That'll wrap up. That's it. That's all we got to talk about.
That was a long one.
It was a long one, but we accomplished so much.
Yeah.
It was such a wonderful trip.
Yes.
And we have a lot more trips coming up. We're
Woo.
super excited about. And if you're ready to get excited about your next trip, no matter where you want to go, our trusted partner, MEI-Travel, will handle the planning so you can focus on the memories. They offer free vacation planning services and have nearly 20 years of experience creating memorable vacations. Visit mainstmagic.com/travel for a fee-free, no-obligation quote today. And then, of course, if you want these episodes every Tuesday and Friday, you can hit the subscribe button. As long as you're subscribing, as long as you're checking out MEI-Travel and everything they have to offer, Rhonda and I would be super duper thankful if you could please leave us a rating and review.
Because it helps our show grow.
That's all we've got. We'll see you real soon.
Jeremy and Rhonda are more than a little fond of Disney World, so they made this podcast to share it all with you. Reports and resorts, top 10 lists of all sorts, Main Street Magic's bringing it home for you.